Cloud beats.
By any means, stay moving, gotta go hard. Rarely getting sleep, focus, making figures large. Everybody down till it's time to play a part. No time to lounge, put that lazy shit in park. By any means, be the man with the plan. Why waste time when you can be making cash? Forever with some no, but the shows that I can. She ain't about the business, then don't wanna, yeah, pass. Fuck it, tell the boys they should start retreating. Fuck it, tell the boys that
Welcome. I want to welcome you all to season 2, and I'm so excited. I want to welcome you all to season 2 of the Black Thought Podcast, Healing for the Soul. That's right. We're back. We are back together. We are back as one. So I want to welcome you all to chapter 2 of our healing. And today we're going to get kind of deep here. And we're talking about something that is one of the most uncomfortable things in our community that we've ever dealt with, and that is suicide. I want to paint a picture for a minute if I can, y'all. Imagine going through life. And as we know, life is so unpredictable. Imagine one day everything is happy. Everything is damn near almost perfect, right? But then imagine, boom, something happens, whether it's you losing a family member, whether it's you losing your job, maybe it's you losing your significant other, maybe it's you going through depression, anxiety, whatever it is. But that one event knocks off everything in your life, and everything begins to become too much to bear. It seems like too much is happening back to back to back, and you don't know how to deal. There isn't any kind of survival guide for this. And then imagine feeling like, wouldn't life be better if I wasn't here? Wouldn't things be easier if I just didn't exist anymore? So now that you're thinking, now that the wheels are starting to turn in your head, imagine how so many people that we've lost, imagine how their wheels were spinning. Imagine how they felt. Imagine what they must have went through before that moment. And I want you to think, this is why this conversation is so important. Now, let's be real for a minute, y'all. Let's call a thing here. Some of us are someone you know. We've dealt with our own case of suicidal thoughts. We've dealt with our own case of conflict within ourselves, where we know it'll be crazy to do, but it's possible. And I'm not saying this to trigger, I'm not saying this to offend anybody, but I'm saying this to simply say, you, my friend, you're not alone. Because just as you're listening to this and you may say, hey, I went through this. I just went through this last week. I've went through this myself. And there's millions of other people who have been through these same things just like you. You're not alone. But here's the thing about it. Before we get into our meat and potatoes here, this is the thing about it. As you realize you're not alone, also realize that today is the first day of your story of survival. The fact that you are listening to this, the fact that you downloaded this, you shared it, whatever, but the fact that you did it, guess what? That means you survived. That means you're here to still tell your story. That means that the closing isn't on your book yet. You're still writing. You're still writing. And as long as you're still writing, that means there's hope. That means there's life. So please congratulate yourself for that. That's something to be celebrated. I want to share a story with you guys if I can. I remember when I was in school, and I remember this was probably after my grandma passed. Now, if you listen to season 1, you've heard me talk about my grandma. You know that is my heart. That's my everything. You know that. I remember probably in 7th or 8th grade, I remember going around and asking certain people who were close to me. I would just randomly ask, "Hey, I got a question to ask you. What would you do if I died? What would you do if you found out I passed away?" And of course, everybody obviously was alarmed. They were obviously, oh my God, like what the hell are you asking me? But I was very serious. I was very serious. And I remember one of my closest friends, my brother till this day, I love him dearly. And Daryl, if you're listening, shout out to you, my boy. I remember he called me. He called me after school, and he, of course, asked me, "Yo, what's going on? Like, why did you ask that question?" And at first, I wouldn't tell him. I was, I guess, nonchalant would be the word. I was just really, really like, "Yo, I don't know, man. I don't know." And then instantly, I broke down. And when I broke down, I told him, like, "Bro, I don't want to be here. Like, I'm going through probably the worst thing I couldn't even imagine. And I just don't want to do this." Because it's like now I have to realize I'm literally alone. Like, everything that I've ever done in life, I always had my grandma there. You know what I'm saying? Every big accomplishment in my life, I could always look around and there she was. Every bad thing that ever happened, I ran straight to her. And to not have that person there now, it's like now I have to do this on my own. I have to live life on my own. Like, this is not what I signed up for here. And so after expressing that to him, Daryl cursed me out. And of course it was out of love. It was out of love. And he literally told me, "This is not what the hell I'm gonna let you do. Like, why do you think you need to do this? Like, no. And I kept trying to tell him, I'm okay. And this is what he told me, y'all. He said, "I'm gonna stay on this phone until you either go to sleep or until I know you're okay." And literally, I kid you not, Daryl stayed on the phone with me until I fell asleep. Because he wanted to know that I wasn't going to do something that was crazy, And I say all of that to say, imagine how powerful a conversation could be to somebody who is thinking of taking their own life. Imagine how powerful a conversation could be. And you never know, y'all. A conversation could be the thing that saves somebody's life, the way it saved mine. In our community, we know that there are things that happen that we don't talk about. That don't happen. We keep that in the house. We don't let that, But literally, that same mentality is killing us. It's killing our little girls. It's killing our little boys. It's killing our fathers, our mothers. Because we're walking around tired. We're walking around like shells of ourselves because we don't know how to put a voice to our hurt. We don't know how to put a voice to the pain that we feel. And I want everybody listening to understand it's okay. It's okay that we don't know how to put a voice to it, but this is the thing. The best way to heal, and the first step of healing, is to be honest with yourself. Not only to be honest, but to also forgive yourself. Understand, you don't owe anybody an explanation for the pain you feel, nor for the experience that you have going through that pain. You don't owe anybody that. You don't owe anybody any explanation for dealing with your pain. Feel your pain, feel your emotions. We've had enough of oh no, that we're too sensitive, we're too dramatic. No, that's not helping nobody. That's not helping nobody. Allow yourself time and allow yourself space to feel what it is that you're feeling. But understand that as you feel what you feel, here's the good thing about it. I love this. Understand that as you feel what you feel, there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's a life after this. Because you don't have to stay in this moment. You have the choice. That's the cool thing about it, y'all. You got the choice to figure out, okay, am I going to sit in this, or am I going to pick it up and do something with it? The choice is up to us, y'all. That's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing. And like I told you before, the fact that you're listening to this is the start. You survived. The fact that you're listening to this on whatever platform you're listening, I don't care what platform you're listening, but the fact that you're listening, that means you survived. That's the main thing. You survived. You made it. And you have another chance. Just like I have another chance, just like everybody else. You have another chance to get it right and to figure out how to be better and what to do to get better. That's the beautiful thing. To every parent that may be listening to this, you could be listening with your child, you could be listening on your own, whatever. But I want you to understand this. Have the conversation with your child. If you notice that something's off with your child, and if you notice that something seems to be wrong, have the conversation. But this is the key. This is the thing. Have the conversation to understand and comprehend, not to rebuttal, not to patronize, not to judge, but have the conversation to understand, because you never know. Just that child feeling like you're there means the world. That could change everything for real, literally. And to the kids, if you are feeling or you're thinking of things, I want you to get help. I want you to talk to somebody. I wish I would have talked to somebody. I wish I would have had the courage to go to my mom or go to my brothers. I wish. I'm thankful that Daryl cursed me out the way he did. I'm thankful. I may not be here if he didn't. I want you to get help. And y'all, I will put some numbers for some resources. If you're dealing with this, I will put some numbers for some resources in the description, so you will have access to that as well. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You guys, I don't want this to be a heavy episode, but whatever. We're going to heal. We're going to beat this thing. It's time for us to start having these conversations so that we don't have to wear our loved ones on a shirt. It's time to have these conversations so we don't have to put long live such and such in our Facebook or in our Instagram. I'm tired of seeing that. Let's have these conversations so we don't have to wonder what could we have done differently, because there's nothing else we could do after that. There's nothing else. That's the sad reality. There's nothing else we can do. And it's crazy. It's crazy that we notice the signs after the person is already gone. That's crazy. And we suddenly feel like I wish we could have got it right the first time. And even if you're going through that right now, I want to tell you, forgive yourself. Don't hold that grief. Forgive yourself. And still love that relative, love that son, that child, whoever, love them. Because instead of us wondering what we could have done differently or what we could have said or whatever, let's work on what can I do now so that the next child doesn't go through this? What can I do now so that another mother doesn't lose their child? What can I do now so that I'm not standing at somebody's funeral or standing at somebody's burial site because of a conversation we could have had? Or what can I do? Let's get some therapy going for this child. Let's get some therapy going for this person. I told you guys this season I was going deep because for too long we've suffered. For too long we've allowed people to tell us what our healing is supposed to look like. For too long we've allowed outside sources to tell us what our experience should be and how it should look. And if it doesn't look too good, we're this, we're that. For too long. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to the next generation. We owe it to our future sons, our future daughters to get the help that we deserve. We owe it. We owe it to ourselves. So I challenge everybody listening to this. I challenge everybody streaming this right now to put yourself first. If you know that you're dealing with different thoughts of self-harm, different thoughts of suicide, if you're dealing with this, I challenge you right now. Call that number in my description. Call that number. Talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. Or find a loved one. Talk to them. Hell, if don't nobody else tell you they love you, I love you. And you can beat this. If I'm able to sit here, trust me, there's hope. You can beat this. You're strong. You're so much stronger than you even know. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of the progress that you've made. So I challenge everybody else. Tell somebody you love them today. I challenge you to have a conversation with somebody who may not be having a good day, who may be going through. Talk to them. I challenge you. Talk to them. Because you never know. The conversation they have with you could change their whole perspective on life, and it could save their life. Talk to them. Until next time, good people.